Good day, fellow YouTubers. We got ourselves here a GE Profile Gas Dryer, gas clothes dryer, and it's a model number DPGT650GH. Hopefully all the GM models are similar to this gas dryer model. I'm going to attempt to do my yearly maintenance of overhauling this baby, cleaning the excess lint inside our clothes dryer, along with the drill attachment outside while the machine is on, using the brush attachment with the drill, and take out the excess lint inside the metal tubing of the duct. So I'll show you process by process. Alrighty, my fellow YouTubers, right here I got this dryer vent brush kit that I have for many years, but looking online, looks like they upgraded some of their products. This one, actually they are all detachable and it came with flexible rods, and this brush, once attached, I use this to clean the underneath coils of the refrigerator to keep the condenser coils nice and clean. This one is your standard 4-inch brush, and that gets attached to the head of the unit. The brush is screwed in, along with these two rods screwed into the right, and then you attach it to the end of the rod. Right there is our guard right there, which I'll take it out in a couple of seconds so you can see how I do it. And regular 3/8 drill, just open up the chuck wide enough, and then you insert it in just like that, and secure it nice and tight with our chuck key. And then over here we'll slowly pry this baby out, which is right here, secure in the sides, but one of them is broken off, so I got easy removal right there. Yeah, so I just slide it right out. These two tabs are broken off, but the other side got tabs right there. I'll slide that baby out. You can see as right there's some lint there, so you can imagine how it is inside there. We got some good lint buildup. I'm gonna turn on the dryer. Turn on the dryer only on air mode. I'll clean some of this off for now physically. Get some of the stuff out there. And my dryer is conveniently installed with one bent routing. That's it. And I have two long rods connected, so that's about a good, I'll say close to 7 feet or 8 feet total length. And you clean it nice and easy with the air dryer on in no heat mode, just air mode only. While it's on, blowing that off. We'll put the drill in there, rotating it clockwise. It's nice to have a nice variable speed drill. That way you take your time, nice and easy, scrubbing the inside of those walls until you reach all the way inside to the actual entrance exit of the blower wheel. All right, we're gonna turn on the air dryer right now. Okay, I'm gonna be removing these screws from the aluminum siding, or vinyl siding, like I like to say. Once I get them off, I'll clean this whole plate right here and get some of the stuff manually by hand, and I'll insert the drill, and we'll turn on that gas dryer on no heat mode, just air only, and you'll see how I'll do the cleaning process. Right now, it's my last screw taking it off. Once I take it off, I'll clean all of this outside right here. And I haven't did this last year, so now it's 2 years worth of buildup. So I gotta, as you can see, she's pretty much got some stuff in there. So I'll clean that up and put the drill in there with the attachment brush and start cleaning. All right, my fellow YouTubers, we now ready to turn on our gas dryer to clean the lint off the duct. As you can see down there, I got a nice full heavy rigid metal, not those soft aluminum ones, so that way it could take the abuse of the drill with the drill attachment. All right, I'm gonna turn it on. You're gonna hit your cycles until you want the air dry, no heat. So we'll select it, each one. This is I believe a 2008 or 2009 model with all original parts, still working like a charm. All right, air dry is on, no heat. 30 minutes should be suffice to hopefully clean all. It shouldn't be that much heavily built up, but in case, if it's the first time doing it, maybe try 40-45 minutes worth and go nice and easy with the drill, nice and in, working way in, so that way you don't jam it with all that lint getting stuck inside that duct tubing. All right, we'll start this baby on. Air dry, no heat, and we're moving. All right, go out there, use the drill. Okay, I'm trying to stabilize this cell phone camera right on top of my condenser unit so you can see how I do this with the power drill. Hopefully she'll stay there. It's a good thing it's not windy today. It's nice and warm. Good old January 13th. Positioning it in. And always clockwise, the drill. And that way, it's good to have a nice variable speed drill. That way you can control the RPM. Take your time scrubbing it nice and clean the outside of the wall of the duct. Grab it right towards the end so you can stabilize the rod. Alright, give it a little juice. You're slowly going in. Alright, and slowly go in again. Nice slow speed. Slowly push it in. Now we're going through that flexible metal rigid duct. Nice and slow, guide it in. We're going in nice. Now if you feel a nice hard resistance, that's the actual turn at 90 degree inside the clothes dryer. So work it around and you eventually get through. Right there, we made it through. Now it's going straight in to the end of the exit blower wheel, which is the actual entrance where you got your lint filter right in there. Go nice and slow, work in there. Yep. Work it nice. And then come back out. We just passed that 90-degree turn. Wasn't too bad for missing my yearly maintenance last year. Can go in again a little bit. He was slowed it down past that turn. Now you can turn it again. Try to get everything out of there. Alright, just test that turn again. Work it around, get all the interior of that wall, that duct. Regulate your speed. Right now we're getting close. The actual metal, aluminum, rigid duct. I can see it. Nice. Hopefully you guys got a variable speed drill, because that definitely helps up controlling it. That way you don't do no damage to the actual ductwork and the rigid flexible pipe that you got there. Okay. See if I'll focus in there. See how it looked like. That took me like about a good maybe 10 minutes or so. Let's see if we can have some good focus in there. You can see something from where I'm at. She's nice and clean. You can feel that rush of air. Big time. Alright. Shut this baby down. I managed to clean this guy right here with the small lint brush. No water, no nothing. Came right off pretty nice. So we're nice and clean. Yep, all that's clean too on the outside, inside to be mounted in. And I used this little guy right here to scrub that plate. All right, that part is done. Got a good amount of lint. Exhaust way out of here. You can pick it up by hand, put it in a little plastic bag. All right, I'm gonna close inside, shut off the dryer, and start the dismantling process to clean all the inside. You'll be seeing how much lint insulation on the whole surrounding chassis, around the glow rod, especially the blower wheel. It's kicked on lint, and that blower, that's a time process there, but that also impedes good air drying performance, and get all them clothes nice and dry too. Alright guys, I'm gonna ready start dismantling this baby for a nice internal clean job. First things first, I'm going to shut off our gas supply to the gas dryer. You never know for any little spark or static electricity doing with the removal of these screws. All right, over here we have one screw over here. All right, I got that one screw there, then one over here, 3, then one over here for 4. Take this top cover off right here. Also, we'll unplug this baby here. This is our current floor gas dryer. All right, so she's totally energy isolated. And we remove these 4 screws. Take that top cover off. All right, we have the 4 screws off. I'll place the top over here in order. I always do it in order. So this is your far right, mid left, and the far left. Positioning of the screws where they belong. All right. I use my 2 hands. Rock it off. As you can see, it's already loose. Pry it off from the left, on the top, on the back. Pry it out. Once you pry it out, you see the 2 screws already coming. That's the middle bracket supporting the actual top cover of the unit. Then you keep prying it off, and it will disengage right there inside that little socket. And that's all completely out. There's our computer right there with the wiring. So now, what I'm going to do next is to disconnect this one here, disconnect this here. This whole unit will come out, get it out of the way. This will also be out of the way. And then we're going to have to remove this screw over here and this screw over here. As you can see, I saved these schematic screws right in here for troubleshooting purposes. And then we'll do our next step. Also, if you want, in order to prevent not losing these screws, it's good also, hopefully you guys have a magnetic tip screwdriver. Or just slightly thread it in, so that way you have no chance of losing your screws. Just give it a couple of threads in. You know what I mean? That way, put one here and then one over here. That way your screws won't be lost. Okay, next step of the process. There was this wiring right here along with this black, possibly ground wire, or the actual common, or the hot wire, I believe, because this is part of the circuitry right here. You got your common here, ground, neutral right here, your neutral, common, and ground. So what I did, I disconnected the hot, so that way I got plenty of room. I pulled off this cover unit. It's like a little adapter type of thing to seal the whole wiring from the outside. So once you just slide it right in and slide it right out, you'll disconnect that. That way you can push this out of the way, because you're gonna have to also remove this top cover, which is secured by this screw here and this screw here. All right. As you can see, I already put the 2 screws that's holding the computer, so that way I don't lose them as well. All right. So we'll disconnect this, and unscrew that, and this top cover should slide right off without these wirings right here blocking the way. All right, we'll push that out of the way, give it room, and then we'll get this top cover off. We can save this on the side over there for the time being. All right, we'll take these 2 screws off. All right, the 2 screws are off. So with your both hands, one right here, one on the other side, you lift it up. As you can see, it's already lift up. And once you lift it up, you pull it towards you to disengage the slots in there. And we'll work our way out. This thing's in the way, of course. Always something interfering in the process. All right. that out of the way. As you can see, it's already out. Now, if you want, we'll put these 2 screws here. Well, it might thread in with the back part of the chassis, and we need to take this off too as well. So just put them right next to these for now. You know, they belong right there. Hopefully you could photo take the process of screws, because there's quite a bunch of screws that we got to remove. But as you can see, once we take it off, there are the obvious 2 screws that's got to be screwed in with this unit right here on top. All right, so that's out. We got our now inner shell. We can put this side over here out of the way. Now we got this type of a channel support plastic thing that will hold this inner shell right here. So we got to take off this screw, that screw. Once we take them off, you can see they look like that they also slide in process. Once we take that off, we got to take these corner screws, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That'll get this shell out of here and loosen this up. Then we got to take off these screws right here along with the door. We got to take this door hinges off as well. Give a little ballpark of what's going on around here. So for the time being, we'll take this off here. These 2 screws with the plastic retaining to hold the shell. All right, 2 screws removed. So what I did, you can pretty much see. Let me turn on my headlight. So once you take them off, push it towards you, so that way you can disengage this support for the actual sheathing. As you can see, there's the groove right there, goes into that slot, and to install it, line it up inside that slot and push it towards the wall, back of the unit, in order to line up your hole there. All right, now this whole thing is going to come off, so I'm going to save this screw and put it right here so I don't lose it, so I know it belongs with this one. That way we try to match up all the screws, we don't lose them, and know where they belong as well. All right, same deal. Let's see if I can pull this right there towards the washing unit, dryer unit. Same deal, comes right off. There's the slots. Put this right here, and put the screw here as well, so that way we don't lose it. Okay, next step in the process, let's get this corner bracket off, and these 3 screws as well. And this one you got to pinch. That's part of the wiring harness, I believe, for the actual light bulb in there, if I'm not mistaken. So you're pinching it nice and easy, that way you don't break it. Move the 3 screws, and let's see what's next. Okay, we got our screws off. This is our right corner bracket. As you can see, you can't screw up interchangeably wise. They only go in one certain area, because this has to engage the top shell of the cover for the gas dryer. And this thing also right here goes into this hole right here. And as you can see, I already put my screws there, so that way I don't lose them. I pinched this thing right here. That's part of the actual wiring harness. So that goes into that hole, lines it up. All right, so all 3 screws corners right now, and then we'll take this top inner shell off. As you can see, it's already loose. I'm going to take it off and put it down on the side with the other top shell right there. And be very careful. These sheet metal shells and all parts of the sheet metal around here are sharp. So extra caution. I'm a rebel, so I take my time doing this. If you don't feel comfortable, you could use gloves as well. So yep, there's our inner shell. There's our actual drum right there. There's our belt. And if you guys decide to take this off for yearly maintenance, take the picture or mark the actual belt number. There is the actual belt number for replacement, but this is still original and it's still holding on. So it's good to also write down your actual belt numbers, all your part numbers. Take pictures of the inside as well for your motor. That way you have no trouble ordering, cross-referencing these parts. All right, next in the list, we're going to remove this door. We're going to just take off the this screw here and this screw right here. So that way, those two screws on top of the hinge, you slightly take it off 1/4 of an inch out, then you can lift it up, move it out of the screws, and then put them on the side as well. So that'll be next. Okay, so you can see I got the bottom screw here off. We got this thing holding, I already pried it off a little bit. And same thing as well down here. The bottom screw is off. I got my 2 screws down here. I'm gonna lift up the actual door and then get it out of the holes of the unit. And it's off. All right. Door's out of the way. We'll put this door on the side as well. Okay. And same deal. We'll put our screws back so that way we don't lose them. Once we get our screws in, next process, we're going to take off this screw here, that screw, this screw, this screw. Yeah, I believe there's other screws in here, but that will, I don't remember if it actually attaches to the outside shell, but I don't think so. So we'll take these 4 off and see if this whole thing comes right off. All right, so that's next. Also, one more thing, I already started the process of removing the 2 screws, but I was looking thoroughly. This outer door shell cover is attached, as you can see, to this circuit right here for the actual door switch for the light bulb. So all you got to do is just disconnect this thing right here, the socket for the light bulb switch. Then that way you can remove the whole door out. All right, as you can see, there's our light bulb switch socket. Door is removed, the actual outer part of the shell. And the screws are different. You have one long one, which is that top for the top door, and that's for the bottom part of the door, long and short. So this, again, to prevent losing your screws. And this one here goes to the actual threaded part of this. I don't know if I should be able to thread it because I don't think it will permit me to take this unit off. So that has to stay off. So those are the only 2 screws that have to stay disconnected. But these guys, you can put them in here so that way you don't lose them. All right, it stays there. And once you remove the outer shell, just pick it up, lift it up, because it's engaged with these 2 bottom, actually 3 slots here. As you can see, it engages with that corners. So once you install it back in, you just gotta slide it right in and let it engage in those bumpers right there. And as you can see, we got some serious lint activity. It don't look that bad, but there is some lint buildup inside the actual chamber inside for the gas pilot valve. And the whole chassis and the floor is dust and lint buildup. And there's the duct tubing there. So now next step, as you can see, there's a screw here. And there's a screw here. So we got to go inside here. And once I clean off that lint inside that hole, there's access to that screw. And I'll remove, and there's also 2 more screws in the bottom. Just take your time and study your unit and see which screws are involved to remove the process. Hopefully most gas dryer units are similar in construction to this particular model. And we'll take it from there. Once it's all off right here, I'll disconnect that, put to that side. Wiring harness as well. Once everything's good, then we'll take off. The next step is these guys that support the actual drum housing, which is this screw right here, that screw right here, that screw, and this screw. And this whole thing will come out. The drum roller will actually dangle a little bit because it's engaged, the rollers, with this actual metal chassis housing right here. All right, so we'll remove these 1, 2, and then 3, 4 screws in the middle. Dryer link comes off. Try to reroute the hot wiring. Be careful not to damage it. And then we'll take off these 4 screws. Okay, those 4 screws are off. So I got the 1 small there, but the other one looks like it's a little bit stuck in there, being stubborn. But the other screws from the corners are right here. Put them down for now. These are the actual 2 screws that get connected from the door or whatever. So now I got everything off. Pay attention to this part right here. It's like a small little collar that slides right in to engage it. So now also take off your lint filter right there. I'll put on the side. Now we'll just disconnect it and watch out with the wiring harness. All right, and just little by little slide it off. And this piece right here, and it looks like it's part of the bottom right here. So we'll go little by little. And just that one. All right. Lift it up. Okay. There you go. That gets slide in with that in there. So you remember the removal process. All right. I'm gonna shut off this thing right here. We don't need no heat here because I don't want to suffocate. All right. So that's out. Now this guy right here, that's part of the wiring harness, so you got to be careful. I'm gonna finagle with it because it's hard to do it with holding me with the cell phone, but it looks like I can manage. All right, that is out of there. Lift that up. All right, that's part of that. So remember, this part right here comes first, then that, then your small little piece. That's the last retrieval. So this has got to go in first, and it guides right in, just like that, more or less. Yep, you guide it right in there. You line it up with the actual hole to that one. So that's your first step right there. Then put this big middle piece in there. Then you finish installing this last on the left hand side. Okay. Get this baby out. I believe that screw is in there. And there it is. All right. I'm going to finagle this baby out of there. All right, route it out of the way. No interfere. And then once everything's all disassembled, it's just all matter of cleaning. And that's how it is to do your yearly maintenance. Keep this baby running efficiently, super brand new. This baby, I bought this baby in '09, so she got a lot of good years, all original, nothing replaced yet. Thank God for that. As you can see inside there, we got some serious lint inside there too as well. And it's just all a matter of cleaning. All right, we got that out. Now we're going to take off these screws that support the front end of the rotating drum. So it's going to be this one, that one, this guy right here, and this guy right here. Once we disengage it, you'll see there's a slot in there that engages it. So we got to lift it up and try to disengage it from the actual roller drum. And of course, the drum is going to drop down a little bit. One more thing I forgot to mention too. I put back all together the screws that were dangling on the floor where it belonged. So this was, I believe, part of the actual door. So that's one screw here, one screw here, and remember those two screws that we took off the actual filter housing unit, which was one right here, one right here, and the two small screws that connects and supports the actual sensor of this wiring right here. Okay, that way no losing of screws. All right, now we'll take off these 4 screws. All right, one more thing I forgot. It's been a while since I missed my yearly maintenance. This is my first time, not first time, but skipped a year. All right, I already got the 4 screws out, but since I was further examining the actual removal process for the drum, as you can see, it's still attached to this. So we got to remove this screw here, this screw here. We'll slide this whole intake tubing out, which is the blower wheel right here. Once that's out, then we can actually remove this whole thing. And also we gotta disconnect this as well, because this thing is connected with the actual drum shell right here. So we'll disconnect this as well. All right, we got that disconnected, so that's out of the way. All right, and as well as this for the light bulb, we gotta disconnect as well. Should be just a plug-in socket. Yep, plug-in socket. All right, everything is out and disconnected for nice removal of this and the actual drum. We'll take this out with these 2 screws. We'll lift this out. Now the hardest part of this whole removal process is the actual belt that engages with a heavy spring-loaded roller there that engages the actual belt to engage the drum for proper tensioning. That's the only difficult part of this job, but it can be done. Okay, 2 screws out. You just slid it right off, and you can see we got a serious nest right there of lint. There's our blower wheel. The blower wheel is not too bad, but I take my time and actually clean off the inside blades where they're caked up. So as you can see, it's not too bad. We got just a little bit of buildup for missing 1 year of maintenance. That ain't bad. But I always do this every year, and I always have the time to clean all of these blades, so that way get nice smooth air performance, restriction free. All right, now put this to the side. Now we're going to lift up this drum cage unit. Just going to drop a little bit, and then I'll put this to the side as well. Also, one thing before I forget, this is the actual screws for the intake housing of the blower motor. That way we don't lose them as well. All right, that goes in. A couple of threads, all you need. All right, and same deal with this one. These 4 screws. Well, once I take them off, then I'll put these screws into the outer outer shell of this unit, these screws, so that way I don't lose them as well. Okay, as you can see, there's our outer shell that supports the drum with the rollers. This thing is already dangling down. As you can see, it's already dangling there because it lost its support. And as how I did it, I put my right hand inside holding the drum while I was lifting up the whole outer cage support with my left hand, and that way you can disengage it from the bottom of the drum roller. All right, these 4 screws, again, we'll use the outer shell. We don't lose them. All right, it belongs there. The one over there, the other one over here. Now the next press, I'm gonna see if I clean this off here because I don't want to get my hands and arms all dirty. But right there is going to be the actual removal of the belt of the roller, spring roller, tension roller. This engages, then we take this whole drum out of here. All right, my YouTubers, this is it. This is the momentum climax of this maintenance, clean, not repair, but actually maintenance cleaning job to do to disassemble this high tension roller that's right there underneath. You can see that's right there with the motor. And I'm gonna try to put my hand in there, but that roller, that white one, just gotta release the tension and then loosen the belt. As you can see, take a picture of it, the routing, the actual right side of the belt goes down, all right, goes to the bottom of the motor shaft, then route it around, go to the side of that pulley, and then go up. That's how it looks like. I'm trying to get a better angle so you can see the actual belt routing right there, but you can see it. And it's pretty hard. There you can see now, you got a good shot at it right there. All right, guys, belt goes right there. There's your motor shaft, which is grooved. Goes in there, route it to the right clockwise, then go to the side of that white pulley, and then the tension will be adjusted. Take a picture of these. Taking a picture of this will definitely help you out the process, so that way you don't get confused with the belt tensioning and routing for this drum roller. But that's how it is. All right, I'm gonna spring the tension to the right so that way I can remove the belt. Drum roller's off, put it to the side, and then we start cleaning. Okay, the actual belt is off of the tensioner motor shaft, groove shaft right there, and just gotta loosen the tension left, not to the right, but push the actual white tensioner roller to the left. You get a lot of good slack. Move around the drum if you want, and then you just loosen the whole belt. Now the belt's loose, as you can see. We're ready to lift the drum up. So all you gotta do is just lift it up, disengage it from the actual rollers in the back, put it to the side, and we'll start cleaning this whole inside interior. And there she is, my friends. The complete insides of a gas dryer. As you can see, it's straightforward, simple, and I guess it's less components than the actual electric dryer. So what you got here is the actual gas valves right here. Gas comes right there. There's your gas pipe right there. There's your gas valves that control the flow. Push the gas out. There's your glow rod, pilot, flame sensor. Whole deal, just same similarities as the actual gas furnace units. Then your combustion fire goes there, comes out through there, circulate all hot air, goes into the intake of the filter, goes in here. There's your motor, and I try to clean as best I can the motor too as well. And she is not in bad shape. It's not as dirty as I hoping not. Over here I use high temperature for the HVAC. I'm pretty sure there's an upgraded one called this one, even though it's still holding. This is a 181A. I'm pretty sure right now in 2022, probably got better HVAC temperature for high temperature, since this thing is burning hot gas. And also right here, part of your sensors, you just got 1, 2, 3, 4 sensors, and your glow rod for the pilot, and obviously your gas valves. There's our spring tensioner right here, as you can see. Once you put the drum in, you get the belt and we'll route it through there. High tension, but eventually you get it in there. And it looks pretty good. I'm just gonna clean all this off, vacuum it off nice. This thing is still holding, which is good. And this is the thing I was telling you about with the airbrush. I mean the electric power drill lint brush that I used before the friggin' video to clean all the lint inside. It had resistance right here, so slow RPM, push it in, and then it eventually touched all the way right in here. And then you hear that little buzz noise. You might heard it in the beginning of that video. I actually had that brush right over here touching that blower wheel. So I backed up real quick so that way don't mess up that blower wheel. So I know all of this tubing inside is nice and clean. All right, it's all matter now just cleaning up everything, get all that lint, dust off and everything, and reversal of the installation process. Well, it's gonna take time consuming, but this one ain't that bad, so it shouldn't take me that long. So right now I'm gonna have my beautiful meal break, recharge, and then I'll show you everything how it looks all cleaned up and install back together. Alrighty guys, got everything cleaned out, wiped down the chassis, cleaned the motor. There's that motor right there. If you want to take a reference on your motors, write it down. That way you know what to order and stuff. Disassembling the whole thing apart. Along right here is our belt number. Yep, it's right there. Hard to focus. But right there is the 44. Looks like double D or double 100. Goodyear belt. Alright, write that down, and that's your belt number. 2 screws right here for the blower housing. So I took that off. As you can see, she's nice and clean now. Best I can do it. You could use your finger because it's pretty dry. You know, lint stuck into the blade wheels, plastic. And while using a vacuum cleaner, it sucks it up nice and clean. So yep, everything's nice and clean there. The insides all wiped down. And she's ready for another year of good service. Also the duct inside here for the blower. As you can see, everything is nice and clean. All wiped down. So she's ready. And it's all now of process of putting it back together again. So right now, I'm gonna put this in first, 2 screws, and then the drum. And like I said, once you put the drum on there and position it so that way it engages the 2 rollers. Once it's engaged and you feel it rolling, you go down, try to route it the way how you remember it, and then put the belt through there and let it engage on that bottom part of the shaft. Once it engages the bottom part of that shaft, you just let go and she'll engage its proper tension for that roller. And you can test it while installing the other part. Make sure she actually does move the motor shaft with the drum. Alright guys, I took off those those 4 screws that were saved. As you can see, on the floor. So, holding the top drum up, and at the same time trying to slide in and engage the rollers over here. Then slide it in into these slots, and then you'll get your drum moving. Drum moving is good. All right, that's what we want. We have engagement. And it's just all the reversal process. So right now I'm going to put these 4 screws. And after that, we'll put this thing here with the shroud for the 2 screws right there for the intake for the lint filter housing, and so on. All right, guys, took off that 2 screws right there for the intake duct housing. Installed it, nice and squished tight right there. Then I put the screw there. Now next is the actual sensor with the whole filter housing all complete in one. Connected. Let's got this right here. And there's our 2 screws. I'm going to take them off. That one here internally, and these 2 in here, and these 2 right here. Then I'm going to install the whole thing right here. All right, now this process right here, we got to remember. It's hard to do it in 2 hands, but I'm going to guide you. Put this whole unit in first. Guide the yellow wire, and once you got that small opening in there, you're going to guide the remaining sensor wires in that small opening, and then you finally push this whole unit out and assemble the whole 4 pieces, and it will align up with the 4 holes. So this is inside already. Let's give it some room right here, and you start putting this unit right here, this part right here where I have my thumb at, which is this area here. You start putting inside in the duct, or slowly work in, leave a small gap. That way you'll fit the other remaining inside and snap it right in. And this is how it should look. Okay, you got your wiring in there right in the middle, slack free. The felt is right there on top of the duct. So the wires is right there, and then that little stick out thing, clip, is right there. So that way when you look in there, everything is nice and flushed in. Okay, we'll just secure 1 screw there, 2 screws there, and 1 screw there. All right, we got this done. We got this installed. This is good. Next, take off these 2 screws right here for the outer door shell. Once we take those 2 out, and I already got the last 2 here, that's right down here. So this is our top right, top left. And remember the notches from the door shell. Make sure you engage it right here on the left corner, is right corner. You engage it in, and then line it up. Line up right there. Make sure, be careful with the wiring harness that you don't mess it up. Line up the holes right there, and we'll tighten up our bolts. Okay, finishing up the door right here. One more screw here. Then next, for the reverse installation, is obviously the door. Nice and snug, tight, don't go crazy. Got that there, and one over here. All right, we'll take these bottom screws off so that way we can line up the door much easier. Since the door hinge got reverse type of oval holes there to line up. So use the top screws to line up. Hinge is out of the way. here is our door. Pretty heavy door since it got the heavy glass there. All right, now we'll line this baby on that hole, just like that. And the other one, since that one came off, gotta play around with it. Okay. And there, we got it lined up. And tighten this one just to hold it. Okay, and the other one, just slightly snug. Okay, then we'll put our 2 remaining screws. Then we'll concentrate on the top shell. All right, we gotta connect our light switch. The extra socket for the bulb. That's in. This one right here, obviously, is a 2 connector from down here, and this is for the other connector on top. All right. Well, actually, the connector's right here. So we'll connect this. All right. That's already clicked in. We heard a click. And one more right here. Probably goes in one way, the way how the angle is with this. But since this has the memory of the wiring, the way it's positioned, so it should slide in. There is a groove right there on the side. So if it doesn't line up, then we'll switch it. Yep, here we go. We feel it going in. Make sure she's all the way in. Yep, now we're in. All right, now we have the shell. So we gotta take these 2 screws out. Actually, we'll do the we'll do these 2 screws, because these 3 screws right here is for the actual brackets right there. So this one is for this side. So this goes here, along with this. That. Here's the top right there. And this one is the bottom here, with this one in the middle and this one on top. Okay, everything else is clear. We're going to put now this shell. Be careful with this shell, very sharp corners. We're going to go in, just like that. And this thing is away. Push that out. Right. There we go. All right. Now we're in position. We're going to do our brackets here, and then the channel guides, then the top computer mounting. All right. Got that little dimple. I already installed this right bracket. This little dimple right here lines up with that square in there. Once you line it up, you got that, but don't forget your clip for the wiring. Little push thing there. That should be engaged. Might take us a little bit. Yep, we're engaged. That lines up. Your 3 holes there, 1, 2, and 3. So we'll take care of this corner one first. Take this, try to line it up. Okay, we got that started. Middle one over here. Threads are nice. And last one. Put that here. Alright. Once we get this all tightened, we'll do the 2-bolt channel. Alright, there's our screw. I have it hold right there in the retainer slot. We'll take this one. This is the right one. Position it here for now. There's our guides. I'm going to line it up in these 3 holes. Once we line it up in the 3 holes, we push it up and it lines up with that top hole screw, and we tighten it up. Same deal applies for the other side. Take our screw out, rest it there. Same principle, 3 slots with the 3 holes. Once you got it lined up, you push it in, lock it. Alright, locked. And we'll take our screw and screw it in that hole there. Okay, it's just a matter of now of putting our top shell here. Alright, we'll get this most likely out of the way. Give us some room. Alright, there's our top shell. Take this, line it up. Alright. Try to guide it in with the holes of the wiring. Then we'll guide it over here. Play around with it to get it engaged here nice. Just flush, we're all even, nice, lined up. Wiring, snake it through. We've got our 1 hot wire. We'll connect this. Connect this baby so we don't forget, or else she won't work. That's done. And we got our little spacer here. And we just slide it right in. Try to remember how it was. Most likely it's like this. There you go. And line it up with the wires, Xing it out with this groove right here, so that way you don't pinch the wires. Alright, wires exit out good. That's good. Alright, we got our 2 screws. These 2 screws are obviously right here. That one in the corner. Alright, so we'll put one in the corner here. Try to start her up. It starts up good, snug, a little loose. While we get the other one over here. Okay, now we tighten it up snug. Alright, wiring diagram. Go there. Take this baby out. Then we carefully bring our computer right there like that. We'll take off our 2 screws right here, so that way we can put our computer housing on it. Alright, computer goes here. There's our groove. It should line up in the inside bottom, lining up with the screws. Mounting up the screw right there. And we're lined up. We'll take this, secure it. One screw in the bottom right. And the other one right here, top left. Okay. Tight. Tight. Alright. Make sure our wiring looks good. Nothing pinched. Alright, now we take off these 4 screws so that way we can attach the top console control mounting thing. So we got our long screw there. The 2 middle ones are the short ones. And the outer ones are the long ones. Alright. Okay. We'll line it up with these holes so that way it can properly engage. Pay attention that you don't pinch the wires. Okay. Now at the same time, you gotta try to engage that back cover to line up with the holes. Then you'll see that everything's lined up perfectly with that back cover, which is the actual of the dryer housing. Now she's locked in. She ain't moving. Put our screws. And after that, we'll plug in our dryer and we open up our gas valve and give it a test drive. Everything should be running smooth. We got my fellow YouTubers do this every year. You'll have top dryer performance. At the same bonus time, you're saving energy. And above all, prevent fire hazards with all these extra lint buildup. And you're also prolonging the life of your appliance. Like I said, I think I bought this in 2008, so she's now almost 14 years of age. Secure our screws. Just nice and snug, you don't have to go crazy either. That's that. Okay, we'll get our wiring plug. This baby. Plug it in. Alright, turn on our gas valve. Okay. I already installed the duct outside. That way no creatures can come crawling in duct hole out there. Alright. We'll start her up. And we should hear, it's going to be hard now because I got the tankless hot water running. But you should be able to hear the gas valve opening. Not the actual gas valve opening, but you should be able to hear the flame kicking in. Yep, kicked in. Hear the flame going. So she's working. Tumbler's working nice. And the bearings for the rollers, I checked, they're all solid except for the back one out there. It has a very little small minute play, but I guess maybe that's normal in order to install the drum with no problems. But if 4 of them has to be that tight, then maybe down the road next year or the following year, I'll keep an eye on it Make sure she's nice and tight, the roller bearings for the drum roller. And that, my friends, concludes our yearly dryer overhaul maintenance for PM cleaning on this GE unit. Gas dryer, I believe it's 7.1 cubic feet, give or take, I don't remember. It's been so many years. But she's functioning beautiful. Thanks my fellow YouTubers for watching. Hopefully you have a similar type of dryer. You've been able to just take it apart, screw by screw, housing by housing, cover by cover. And you can do it yourself, and you can save an average of $150 or $100, depending where you're at, for this maintenance cleaning service. Removing all the lint and cleaning the whole interior of the gas dryer unit. Until next time, fellow YouTubers, thanks for watching.